I like beta Minecraft. I don't think that's a secret. I mean, I have a whole video where I talk about all the reasons I like it. But I've actually thought before, what if I make the opposite of that video? What if I make a video talking about all the flaws that beta Minecraft has? Basically, what are the worst things about beta Minecraft? I feel like there's going to be people watching this like, Dialkord has betrayed us. He hates beta Minecraft now. And it's like, no, I don't. I just thought this would be a fun video to make. And I mean, I understand the world isn't black and white. You can like a video game a lot and still be aware of its shortcomings. So here we go. My list of the worst things about beta Minecraft. And of course, these are all just my opinion. I'm going to start off with no sprinting. There's no sprinting in beta Minecraft. This is very low down on the list. I feel like I had to mention it, but frankly, it's out of all these, it's my least concern. But yes, there is no sprinting, and I think that might turn off a lot of people from playing older versions of the game like this. When you've played with sprinting for so long, you can get really used to that and really used to that freedom of movement that it gives you. And when you go back to beta, you kind of feel like you're just so limited when you're not able to sprint. Like you're just stuck in mud all the time. You just have to walk around the world. And I can see how that would bug some people. It might even, make some people just give up on beta immediately. I don't know. Now, like I said, this is lower on the list because honestly, while sprinting is nice sometimes, I kind of just got used to the lack of sprinting and I don't really mind that much. I made a post on my channel basically asking people like, hey, like what are the things about beta that you like the least, or what are the things that you wish were in beta Minecraft? And I was actually surprised to see that sprinting didn't come up that much. There weren't that many people saying that they even wanted sprinting. And a lot of people were actually saying that they explicitly did not want sprinting in beta Minecraft. I think there is a silver lining to sprinting not being in the game. Beta Minecraft, a lot of the draw is that it's kind of slower paced. It's a bit more calm and relaxing. The lack of sprinting kind of adds to that. You just have to move a bit slower around your world and you sort of get to like take it in a bit more just because you're moving, that much less quickly. I don't know if I'm making sense here, but I think it is kind of nice in a way. You can see it as a positive. You really can. It also means that other methods of transportation are more important. So it really incentivizes you to build like railways. I've talked about railways quite a few times. I love minecarts and rails. I think it's really fun to build those and have those interconnecting your world and the different areas in your world. And you're really incentivized to build those. Those are really the main way of travel in beta Minecraft, besides just walking around. Of course, you also have boats. I've built a canal before, and I know a lot of people in their worlds have built canals and stuff. You don't have elytra or horses or anything like that. You could also, of course, build a nether highway or a nether hub with different portals taking you across your world. That is also a great way to travel quickly throughout your world. But speaking of transportation, we're going to move on to the next point, which is boats. Boats are pretty bad in beta, and actually this isn't even unique to beta really, because boats were pretty bad for a long time. I mean, past beta into release up until I believe release 1.13, the boats were like so weird. I don't think they were as fast. They would break all the time. If you hit the corner of a block too fast on your boat, the boat breaks. If you're sailing through the ocean and you hit like a mob that's floating, your boat will break, right? I've seen people on laggy servers who are just going through open ocean and their boat just breaks seemingly for no reason. So the boats were pretty bad for a while. And also they didn't even drop a boat when they broke. They dropped wood and sticks, which is like, okay, great. Now I can't even rebuild my boat. I have to go get more wood. So yeah, I mean, I can definitely see people wanting better boats in beta Minecraft. They are a little crappy. I guess there's kind of a positive to this, not really, but it's just one of those things where like the fact that the boats are so bad, it gives you a reason to make like really good, robust, safe waterways. Like I built a waterway in my world, and one of the things I had to do is deepen the waterway and make sure it was deep enough so that squids wouldn't hang out near the surface of the water and break my boat or knock it around all the time, which was really annoying. Another thing is at the end, I built this sort of docking area where a piston pushes it up, and it just kind of, it puts the boat onto land so like squids can't come and break them, which happens a lot if you get out of your boat. Oh man, the old boats also, like when you got out, like if you didn't move in the right way, they would just turn around and start sailing away from you, like away from the coast, and then you'd have a bunch of boats just in the middle of a body of water. That would get really annoying. The next thing is structures. This one is still pretty low on the list, but basically beta Minecraft, it doesn't have as many structures. It doesn't have as many of these sort of buildings or ruins or whatever that you come across in a modern Minecraft world, or even just some later versions. In beta Minecraft, you have just dungeons, which I guess technically aren't even structures. They're just like features that generate with the world generation. But yeah, all you have is these little dungeons slash monster rooms, I guess that they're called. And there's nothing else. You never will find any other villages, ruins, any sort of structure. The world is just barren and empty. And I can see how for some people who are used to modern Minecraft, that could be kind of lonely feeling and kind of disappointing, not as exciting as finding all these cool things like the villages and pillager forts, pillager watchtowers, what are those called again? Outposts. For me, I will say I don't mind if the Minecraft world is more lonely. I think I actually prefer it feeling a bit more desolate and a bit more of that serene kind of isolated feeling rather than having too many structures around in the world. But I do like some of the structures that they added in later versions. I like abandoned mine shafts, for example. I think they're really cool. They really have I guess, a Minecrafty feel. I mean, you go down and you find these old ruined shafts with these support beams and these broken up, minecart tracks. And it's like, that's cool. It adds some mystique. Like, who built this? There was someone here before me, but obviously they've been gone a long time, right? It's really cool. And I don't think that really takes away from the loneliness feeling that much, which I really enjoy. Strongholds, just like the structure by themselves, I thought are really cool. Like this old dilapidated mossy dungeon. Obviously we have dungeons in beta, but we don't have these big sort of labyrinthine things that strongholds are. And I just think they're awesome. I think they're so cool. So yeah, I wouldn't mind a little more structures in beta, but I do think some people probably appreciate that it is such a stark and just empty landscape in beta Minecraft, and it's really just all yours. There's no villages, taking up a spot that you wanted to build, and now you have to clear them out, and there's no pillager outposts like, oh great, now they have fucking pillagers who are going to spawn constantly next to my base, It's all just for you, and that could be a really positive thing. All right, the next thing is armor in beta Minecraft. The armor system in beta is not very good. So the way armor works in beta, as I'm sure a lot of you know, is every armor gives you the same amount of protection. Really weird. Leather armor gives you the same amount of protection as diamond, which is so weird. But what happens is each armor has different durability, and as the durability goes down, the protection that the armor gives you goes down. It's a unique idea, I will admit that. It's an interesting idea, but I don't think it works that well. The problem is you're wearing your armor and the protection is just constantly going down. For one, I think the durability on armor should be a little higher because it just feels like it goes down way too fast, even for diamond armor. And you've made yourself this huge set of diamond armor, and it's just like it's going away like instantly. It's so kind of disappointing, and it's just like not worth it to ever make diamond armor. Because here's the thing, as soon as you take some damage, when your armor's damaged and your protection level is down, now to get the most amount of protection, it's actually just optimal for you to make another set of armor. And again, they all offer the same amount, so you might as well just go make an iron suit of armor. And now your diamond armor is useless. It's actually obsolete because your new iron suit of armor is better. And it's like, why did I just spend 24 diamonds on this? And once you get to a certain point, it's just like the armor's barely protecting me at all. So I've had these moments where I just put damaged armor into chests because it's like, okay, there's no point to wearing this anymore. I'm just going to put on a new suit of armor. This wouldn't be nearly as bad if you could do the repair thing in beta Minecraft, you know, where you can put 2 damage tools or armor in the crafting table slot and have them both combine their durability into one item. I believe that function was given to the grindstone later on, but it's not present in beta, and it really would have helped the armor system, but it can't. And so you just have all this useless armor sitting in chests, and it's like, okay, either I wear this and I'm just completely vulnerable, or I make new armor constantly. It's really weird. It's not that good. I wish they had it the later way where, yes, different armors have different durabilities, but they also give you different levels of protection, and the protection does not go away as the armor gets damaged. So yeah, beta could have had better armor. Most people agree that the armor system in beta is not that good. The next one is interesting. Enchantments. There are no enchanting tables in beta Minecraft. There's no enchanted books. You cannot get enchanted tools. Now this is one that's kind of interesting. When I made my post, there were some things I was expecting to see, but I wasn't expecting so many people to mention enchanting and how much they wanted enchanting in beta Minecraft. But I guess I should have expected that, because it does kind of make sense. Enchantments have become a huge thing in modern Minecraft. I mean, they're so useful, from, you know, silk touch, efficiency. Now we have mending, of course, and all sorts of other stuff for armor, weapons, tools. And I can see how when you're going back to beta, you really feel the lack of enchantments, because you only get to use the raw tools, right? However much durability and speed a diamond tool has, that's how much it's going to have forever. So you just get to use this diamond tool as base speed, and then once it breaks, you're done. And this is so interesting to me, because that's just how it was for so long. And even when I started playing, it was kind of the same, because you didn't have mending, you didn't have tools that were unbreakable. You had unbreaking enchantments, but the idea was that these enchantments would kind of be a little bonus at the end. They weren't something you had to have on every tool and make your tools never break ever. It was just like, okay, I have my diamond pick and it has a few enchantments that makes it a little better, but one day this pick is going to break, right? And then I'll have to make a new one. But nowadays it's like, okay, I need to have a villager trading hall that gives me access to every enchantment ever for free, because I also have like an emerald farm that gives me access to a bunch of emeralds, so I can just keep trading for all this stuff. And now I have all the best enchantments on all my gear, which will never break ever. And just the juxtaposition of the two different sort of modes of playing there is just so interesting to me. In beta, you don't have efficiency, you don't have beacons. So, you know, when you dig something out or when you're gathering resources, it takes longer. And I almost feel that it adds a little more pride to anything you build or any giant hole you dig out, because it took you so much longer. But I can see how someone would see that as a negative. Could just be tedious. It might not be fun. That could just be really slow and tedious. Another thing, though, that people brought up as a reason for why they wanted enchanting or like enchanting tables in beta Minecraft was something that I've thought about a lot. And I think it's a really interesting point, which is that it just gives you something more to put in your Minecraft base, right? Because in beta Minecraft, really the only thing you need in a base is like a storage room to store materials. And then past that, it's like, I can't think of anything like practical that you actually need in your base. Maybe farms, a few farms, and that's basically it. But I really like the design and the idea behind the enchanting table, because not only do you need the block itself, but you need that specific arrangement of books around the block. And that's so cool, because there's not that many features or mechanics in Minecraft that actually force you to build something, like actually build something, and instead of just like placing a block down, right? And enchanting tables actually do that. They actually force you to carve out some sort of space or some sort of room in your Minecraft base to specifically have the enchanting table, you know? And then you're like, okay, well, now I actually can make like a cool like library room, and it actually has a purpose. I actually have a reason, a practical reason to come back here later, you know? And I just think that's really cool. Brewing stands are another similar one where you can have like a brewing room or even a room to farm brewing ingredients. I could see how people would miss things in beta that actually give you, I guess, more stuff to put in your Minecraft base. I did sort of lament the lack of enchanting tables when I went back to beta, I kind of missed them for a while, but it's funny. One of my main reasons for missing the enchantment table isn't even that I wanted enchantments that much. It's just that I liked the magical sort of element of it. I like the mysticism that it added. There's a little bit of mystery and this sort of like magic in the enchanting table. Like, how does this exist? There's obviously some sort of magic in this Minecraft world, and there's this like ancient language that the enchantments are being written in. Obviously it's from like, I think it's from like some game or something, standard galactic alphabet, or it's from a book. But like in game, I'm wondering like, where did this come from? Is this an ancient language sort of thing? And like, is this related to the people who built the strongholds? And now I'm getting way off into the weeds into like Minecraft fan lore theories, but I'm trying to come back here. Now, this is one of the things that actually a lot of mods for older versions does kind of go back and fix in a way, in that they add the functionality of enchantments back into old versions of Minecraft. For example, the mod for Alpha Not So Secret Saturday actually has a feature where gold tools become Silk Touch. So if you get a gold pickaxe, it'll actually mine a block, like a block of stone, and give you a block of stone, right? Without any enchantments. And that's really interesting because it finds a way to put Silk Touch back into a version where it wasn't available. And at the same time, it actually gives a purpose to gold pickaxes, which normally would be something you would never have any incentive to make. It's like the worst tool tier in the game, right? So I think that was a really, really cool idea to do that. The mod Better Than Adventure actually takes this further. They sort of have each tool tier represent a certain enchantment. I guess that's kind of the philosophy. So diamond tools, for example, are efficiency. They mine faster, but there's sort of a sister tool tier that's not above diamond, but kind of next to it, called steel. And steel isn't as fast as diamond, but it's a lot more durable. And so steel represents the unbreaking enchantment, pretty much. I would be interested to see, though, how a mod would add enchantments into beta. I mean, actual enchantments, like, would you skip the enchanting table? Would you make it just like enchanted books that you have to find? Or would you add actually the whole XP bar system back in? That's something that I've thought about before, and I think it's really interesting. But okay, we've been talking about enchantments too long. I need to move on to other stuff now. Building block limitations. This is quite a big one. I did see quite a few people mention this sort of thing. And this is sort of not one specific thing, but a whole category. So for example, the lack of certain blocks. You have so much less building blocks to work with in beta. Like a lot of the blocks that you might like from modern Minecraft, like the resin blocks, resin bricks, whatever those are called. I saw those recently. My friend showed me those, and I thought, okay, that's actually a really cool looking block. But if there's a lot of stuff like that you like cherry wood or something, I don't know. That's not going to be in beta, obviously. You're very limited. There's only 2 types of stairs in beta Minecraft. There's cobblestone stairs and wooden stairs, and that's it. And I admit there are some blocks that I miss. I got used to their absence, but I do miss a few blocks. Namely, the ones I always think of are stone bricks and iron bars. They were in the game when I personally started playing, and they just always, they feel like Minecraft to me. And I feel like they would fit beta Minecraft pretty well. Alas, they are not in there, so that's fine. We have to make do with other things. There's also like block placement, limitations. Like, you can't place stairs or slabs upside down, which is something that bugs a lot of people. A lot of people want to place stairs upside down. It's a great tool for building. Another thing is fences. Fences are really weird. You have to place them on top of a block, which gets really annoying if you want to place like fences along the bottom of something, because then you have to build a whole row of like dirt blocks or something and then put the fences. So that's just like, why? Like, what is the point of that? Did they just forget to put that in? Were they not thinking about it? Or is that supposed to do something? I don't know. Actually, I believe in some versions of beta, you actually can't even place fences on top of other fences, which sounds really obnoxious if you're trying to build like a big thing of fences. So I'm glad they changed that, at least in later versions of beta. But one of the big things for this building category is the build height. This is something that I kind of always have in the back of my mind as like one of the worst things in beta, is that the build height is so low. In beta Minecraft, the build height is only 128 blocks. And remember, that's 128 from bedrock. So from the actual surface, you only have about like, what, 64 blocks to build vertically, which is really not that much. You cannot build giant, huge, tall things in beta Minecraft unless you like dig out and actually start from the bottom of the world. Then you'll have more space, but that's just insane. And if you want to build like a castle, a big castle on top of a mountain, like you can't, you're screwed. I remember my friend found this huge mountain and he wanted to build a huge castle on top of it. And I was like, I think you only have like 10 blocks there. I think you only have about 10 blocks there to work with, which obviously he was disappointed. And yeah, that is a little disappointing sometimes. You can still build like pretty tall, grand looking stuff, but again, you just have to start from low down. You typically have to start from around sea level, which can be disappointing, you know? If you had plans to make a cool tower on top of a hill, your plans might be ruined. And God forbid you actually like start building something massive and then find out the height limit is that low later, because that's just terrible. Surprisingly, I didn't see too many people on my post mentioning the height limit, which again, you know, that's something I always think of when I think of the worst things. I don't know. I just thought more people would mention it. I will say the building limitations is kind of one of the things that I actually like about Minecraft. If you go back and watch my video, old Minecraft was great. Like, yeah, that is actually one of the things I kind of enjoy. I kind of enjoyed the limitations. People use the phrase a lot, limitation breeds creativity, and I do really believe in that. And I think it can be actually a good thing here. Feels cooler when you do make something that's really cool, because you are working kind of with all these things that are working against you pretty much. All right. And the last thing, the thing that I think is just the worst part about beta, is all of the weird quirks and just absences of quality of life stuff. Again, this is just going to be like one big category. And I have no defense for this. Like all the other ones, I could kind of think of maybe like a silver lining or a way that it could be a positive. But like for this one, it's just like, no, this just sucks. So some of the stuff I'm talking about, for example, breaking items. For some reason, the breaking speed on certain items is just not correct at all. Like wooden stairs. Oh, you know, I'll break those with an axe. Nope. It still takes a long time to break. Why? Why isn't the axe doing anything? I don't know. Did they just forget to do that? Is it on purpose? I can't think of any reason why it would be intentional. It makes no sense. And then, of course, when you break the stair block, it drops a full block. Why doesn't it drop the stair? I believe fences are the same way. Crafting tables, a bunch of random stuff. Redstone is for some reason doesn't get mined at the correct speed, or it just gets mined really slowly. Like why? Like every single other ore gets mined quickly with the pickaxe except for redstone. Like, did they forget to do that? How do you forget to do that? Like, it was in the game for a while. How did you not like just really quickly go back and fix that? Was it intentional? Is redstone supposed to be like this super hard ore that you have to... Maybe that's why it comes in dust, because you had to grind it down with your pickaxe or something. I have no idea, but that is something that kind of annoys a lot of people. Another thing is just like quality of life stuff in the inventory, drag clicking, a lot of like the shift clicking for crafting. There's a lot of like quality of life stuff like that's missing in beta Minecraft. One of the things that comes to mind for me is food, because food is not stackable in beta, which, or most foods aren't. Cookies are. But I think that makes sense. Like, I don't actually mind that because of the way that food and health works in beta. I think it's fine that food's not stackable for the most part. It kind of gives more emphasis on inventory management, and that's cool. But the annoying part is food doesn't stack, so you have to cook each individual pork chop, if you're making pork chops, in the furnace. And then once it's in there, you got to put the raw pork chop back in, a new one, and then take that cooked pork chop out before the raw one can even start cooking, because it's not going to start cooking when the cooked one's in there because they can't stack. So you have to take the cooked one now, and then it can start cooking, and all the time that's happening, the fire from your fuel is going down. So you got to do this really quick so you try not to waste fuel. Or you have to build a big wall of furnaces and have them all going simultaneously just so you can get a handful of cooked pork chops. that part's kind of tedious. And I can see why people would want food to stack just to have the whole cooking process be easier. So yeah, beta has a lot of quirks and weird like lack of quality of life stuff. And I don't really have any defenses for it. The only thing I can say is like it's kind of fun because it's a quirk of beta, and it's like, oh, you know, so funny, you know. But like that's just I don't know what the term is, but that's like an incidental thing. It's not an actual like strength or positive thing about all those weird features. So that's my personal list. But again, I made that post where people could leave a comment, and I actually want to go through and read some of the things that people mentioned that I honestly didn't even think about putting on my list, but I think are really interesting and valid nonetheless. A lot of people mentioned the music discs, the rest of the C418 music discs, and that's a good one. I have thought of that before because I do like a lot of those music discs, and it's kind of sucks that you know, it's only Cat and 13 in beta Minecraft. A lot of people talked about map walls and item frames. I think that would be cool. Maps in beta are okay. They don't really work that well. They kind of work. I mean, if you're actually lost and need to get back somewhere, I guess it's fine. But they don't work as well. They're not as useful as later versions, and you can't put them on the walls because there's no item frames. So that kind of sucks. A lot of people mentioned trap doors being able to, you know, be placed wherever you want, which you can't do that in beta. But yeah, that's another one of those building things, which makes sense. Book and Quill. Book and Quill is a good one, honestly. I like book and quills. I think they're just fun. You can do all sorts of stuff with those. And yeah, I do miss those from time to time. To do similar stuff in beta, you kind of just have to use signs, which you gotta get creative, and you have to get really thrifty with your words. You gotta be able to say a lot with a few words. And honestly, probably the best comment I read on this post: I wish they added a musket from the 1820s. I mean, come on, we've all thought about that like basically every day. Like, I wish there was a musket from the 1820s. That would be sick. That would be so awesome. All right, well, that's about it for the worst things in beta Minecraft. I hope you enjoyed this video. I thought it would just be a fun idea because, you know, there are some shortcomings, and this doesn't mean beta Minecraft is bad or sucks. It might not be for you, which is fine, but a lot of people enjoyed, and I do still enjoy it, and I do still play it when I get the time. I swear to God, I am still building the Alchemist's Guild. I'm pretty optimistic. I estimate it'll be done somewhere around 2035. I think it should be done. So yeah, we're still working on that. Special thank you to the newest members of my super secret guild, my new guild members: Leah Masters, Solitaire Pilot, Lippy, Alpha. Well, oh, I don't know if I can say that one. I actually don't know what YouTube would do if I said that. But yeah, thank you to you. And thank you, Brack. So yeah, thank all of you guys for joining. That really helps the channel, and I hope you enjoy the cool extra stuff on there. And that's basically it. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you around.